Across Africa, something is happening in our homes. Marriages are struggling, couples are divided, and families are under pressure. Not just because of money or in law related issues, but because we are caught in an identity crisis. Our African cultural values are being diluted by westernization, and biblical values are being redefined by modern ideologies. The result? Confusion. Now, 2 weeks ago, I released a video on feminism and marriage. To that video, I got this feedback, and I'm going to read it to you. It says, "Thanks, Taye. I've just finished listening to you on YouTube, but why does it seem incomplete? You probably need to revisit it and expand the topic. It's now a serious problem and therefore deserves more in-depth analysis. I think the topic is broader than your test treatment." So, this is my attempt at going a bit deeper. I confess it is still an attempt, but my hope is to get the conversation started and deep reflections and soul searching going. What can be done to rescue the marriage institution from total breakdown? Welcome back to my channel. As always, my name is Taye Aluko, and I help couples learn how to enjoy and not endure marriage. Marriage is a beautiful thing. It's a gift and a blessing from God to humanity. It's meant to be enjoyed. Now, for me, growing up in Nigeria, we were taught respect for elders, family unity, and the headship of men. You know, daddy was the head of the house, and mommy was not a weakling, but she honored and respected her husband as the head. Now, marriage was also partly community-based. You know, you had your family, you had your in-laws, you had your siblings, and sometimes your larger community, you know, all having somewhat of an influence on your home and keeping you accountable. But with modernization and westernization, this dynamic has been reshaped. Young women still want to get married, but are not interested in submission. And so you hear things like, don't take nonsense from your husband. Submission is outdated. It's old-fashioned. Make your own choices. Now, there's even an ongoing debate about women not taking their husband's last name after marriage. You know, it's actually a topic of discussion. Now, with some women now seeing it as a disadvantage to them. And to be honest, I understand why there is a pushback, because many men of old perpetrated abuse in the name of being the head of the house. You had daughters who witnessed their moms endure extreme hardship, and they don't want a part of it for themselves. And so I would say that men definitely need to do better, because leadership is not dictatorship or oppression. But are we going to throw the baby away with the bathwater? Husbands are wondering, should I lead or will I be called a dictator? We have a situation where so many couples are neither fully rooted in biblical principles nor traditional values. Instead, they live in a confused middle. Culture says, I must respect my husband. Modernization is saying submission is outdated. But the Bible is saying both of you must submit to Christ. And so the question is, which voice should a wife and even a husband be heeding to? I want to look at how feminism impacts African values. For the longest time, I will confess that I didn't understand feminism. And honestly, I still have very limited knowledge about it. However, I do know that equality and a desire to end patriarchy are at the heart of the feminist ideology. And I stand to be corrected. And these are not bad in themselves, because the fight for equality continues to give women opportunities in education, in careers, in leadership, and even in sports. And the fight for equality has raised awareness about abuse, about forced marriages, about several harmful practices like female genital mutilation, about silence around domestic violence. And these are things that we must not ignore, because women still suffer various levels of abuse in different parts of Africa and indeed the world at large. However, I strongly believe that feminism is harmful for marriage. And this is because feminism undermines male leadership in the home. You have wives who now resist any form of the leadership from their husbands. And the thing is, you can't have two captains in a ship. Feminism distorts submission, because submission is not slavery. It doesn't mean you are weaker. You also find feminism creating rivalry between husband and wife. They become competitors instead of partners in the progress of their marriage. You also find feminism promoting independence. I don't need you. I can handle my business. I can handle myself. Now, this kills the spirit of oneness, and oneness is integral to the institution of marriage. Now, I understand and get it that the world is in a different place, and that in many African homes today, both the husband and wife are working professionals. However, what we're getting instead of unity and a pooling of resources is that couples are living separate lives. Couples are engaging in power struggles. Couples are arguing over percentage of contribution, and as a result, slowly drifting apart. You have African tradition that says family values, honor, respect. But then again, tradition without Christ can slide into polygamy, oppression, and wrongful patriarchy. You have feminism that says values freedom, value independence, but then again, independence without Christ can become rebellion, rivalry, and we see the divorce numbers going up. And so, what is the result that we're seeing? We're seeing marriages where the couples have become roommates, husband and wife living parallel lives, each fighting for independence, power struggle. We're seeing silent resentment, husbands feeling dishonored and disrespected, undermined, wives feeling unloved and not understood. We're seeing broken transmission of values, children watching parents fight wars, growing up confused about what marriage should look like. We're seeing a growth and increase in the numbers of divorce culture. Homes are breaking faster. Fewer people committed to marital success or willing to work through challenges. These are all the things that we're seeing. So what is the way forward? This is my humble submission. Neither patriarchy nor feminism can save African homes. Only Christ can. What does the Bible say? Husbands love sacrificially. Wives submit respectfully. Both the husband and the wife submit to one another in love and out of reverence for Christ. So, what should we be doing? Very important that we return to God's word, because the harmful traditions of Western ideologies will not save us. It's very important that submission is redefined. Submission is not slavery. It is alignment under Christ. It's very important that headship is redefined. Leadership is not domination. It is sacrificial love. It's very important that we teach our children that empowerment is good, but rebellion destroys. That love and respect are not outdated. They are actually divine. And so again, I want to ask you, which voice is shaping your marriage? Is it the voice of culture or is it the voice of Christ? Because your marriage can't thrive if you are caught in between the two. Culture shifts, Western ideology changes, but God's word will remain the same. It does remain the same. Now, if you are ready to align your marriage with God's design, I invite you to take my online course, Pathway to Forever. It's a practical roadmap for couples who want marriages that will stand the test of time and who want to enjoy their marriage. Click the link in the description and let me walk you through this journey in power. Africa has rich culture. The West has powerful ideology, but only Christ has the truth that can sustain marriage for life. Let us return to his order. Husband, love your wife. Wife, submit to your husband. And I can assure you, I can guarantee you that your home will indeed thrive. Have you enjoyed this video? Please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Do you agree or disagree? Share your view. And last but not the least, subscribe to help me keep my channel going. God bless you. As always, I remain Taya Luko. Bye-bye and see you in the next video.
Bride to be, are you ready? Marriage is sweet, oh.
But don't lose yourself. Don't take nonsense. Remember, you're a feminist. Fight for your rights.
But isn't marriage about love, respect, even submission?
Submission, Kate. That's old-fashioned.
But God's design is mutual honor, not competition.
And you're correct. Exactly. No. She must stand her ground.
No.
Many incredible women have broken through the perennial glass ceiling, thriving in male-dominated fields, inspiring and paving the way for other women to do so. Now, without a doubt, we have seen the slogan, "What a man can do, a woman can do better," hold true in the workplace. But ladies, let me ask you this. If you bring the same energy you use to compete with men in the workplace into your marriage, who really wins? Many homes today are silently breaking, not because the couple don't love each other, but because the spirit of feminism has walked through their front door. And while feminism may empower in the workplace, it can destroy in the home. Let's talk about this today. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Taya Luko, as always. I've sat with wives who are exhausted, husbands who feel sidelined, and I have seen marriages where both people are living like roommates instead of partners. Why? Because culture says fight for your rights, but God is still saying submit to one another in love. Now, somewhere along the line, we've confused equality with rivalry, and it is costing many couples their peace. Don't get me wrong. Feminism is not all bad. In fact, many of us women have benefited from it. Equal pay, access to better education, a seat at the table. These are good and even necessary, especially in the workplace and society at large. But when you carry the same energy into your marriage, things are most likely going to fall apart. A wife says, "Why should I submit? He's not my boss." The husband begins to feel, "Why even try to lead? Because she's going to resist me anyway." Or perhaps you're the CEO at work, you're accustomed to calling the shots, and you feel that your husband needs to get the memo. You don't take rubbish from anyone. What is the result? Two people constantly pulling against each other instead of walking in the same direction. And that is not marriage. That is instead a tug of war. And a tug of war will never build homes. Now, here's where feminism can get dangerous in marriage. It teaches independence, whereas God's design for marriage is interdependence. Feminism makes submission look like slavery, when in truth, it is God's way of creating harmony in the home. Feminism encourages competition instead of partnership. It's important to say that submission doesn't mean silence. It doesn't equate to weakness or losing your voice or identity. It simply means alignment under God's order. And husband, this works only when you love your wife as Christ loves the church, sacrificially, tenderly, consistently. Now, it's important to know that God didn't design marriage for two alphas fighting for control. He designed it for one man and one woman, both strong, both valuable, but with distinct roles. The husband leads in love, the wife follows in respect, and both submit to Christ in obedience to God. That is not oppression. That is a divine order, and it works. So let me ask you, whose voice is shaping your marriage? Is it the voice of culture or the voice of Christ? Because you can't have both. If you want peace, intimacy, and lasting love in your marriage, you must choose God's order over culture's noise. I have created an online course called Pathway to Forever. It is practical, it is faith-based, it is a roadmap for couples who want marriages built on God's truth, not the world's trends. To access this course, click the link in the description and you can start your journey to build a marriage that will stand the test of time. Now, in closing, let me just say that feminism may give us strength in the marketplace, but in marriage, strength comes from humility, from love, and from following God's order and God's design. So let's not let culture redefine what God has already perfected. A husband who loves, a wife who submits, and a home that thrives under Christ. That is the true pathway to forever. Once again, my name is Taye Aluko. God bless you and see you in the next video. Bye-bye. You say you want peace in your home. Less nagging, no tension, a calm home, and a peaceful wife. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. You can't have a peaceful home if you are the one blocking the peace that you want. Peace isn't just the absence of nagging. It's the presence of respect, empathy, and emotional safety. Now, many men, husbands, inadvertently destroy the peace that they want by the way they treat their wives. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Taya Luko, a marriage and transformational life coach. A few weeks ago, I did a video on 9 things that wives need to stop doing if they want a better relationship with their husbands. Now, I'm sure you know that it takes 2 to make marriage work. So in today's video, I am shining the spotlight on the men, husbands. I know you work hard to provide. You deal with pressures from several places. And when you come home, when you leave work, you just want to come home to a peaceful atmosphere. Unfortunately, for many of you, the peace you want at home is presently eluding you. Now, let me tell you why this may be happening. Please don't disappear. This is not a man-bashing video, but an enlightenment one. Please do not disappear. Now, the first thing you want to know is that peace isn't something you demand. It's something that you create with intention. And often the way to get peace is to stop doing the things that keep your wife emotionally unsettled and disconnected. Now, what are these things? I'm going to be sharing 7 of them in this video. Again, let me repeat that this isn't about bashing men. This is instead real talk for men who truly want better marriages. Because peace is not about silencing your wife. It's about understanding how to be a better husband. Now, here are 7 things that you must stop doing if you want peace in your home as a man. Now, the first thing you want to stop doing is stop dismissing her feelings. Now, when your wife tells you that she's upset, or when you can see that she's hurt or frustrated, and you respond by saying she's overreacting or that it's not that deep, what you are telling her inadvertently is that her feelings don't matter. Now, don't make it seem like she's a drama queen. Instead, listen. Now, listening doesn't mean you agree, but it does mean that you respect her as a human being. Dismissal, on the other hand, kills emotional connection and leaves you with a frustrated wife. Number 2 thing that you must stop doing is you must stop expecting her submission to mean that she cannot challenge or question your views or opinions. Submission is not about agreeing with you 24/7. Know that your wife respects your leadership, but that doesn't mean that she should leave her brain at the door. Your wife does not necessarily have to be your mirror, but she is your partner in progress. Disagreements don't mean rebellion. It just means that she's alive, she's thinking, and she's invested in the matter. Now, if you shut her down every time she disagrees with you, resentment will replace peace. Number 3 thing that you must stop doing is you must stop using money as a weapon. Husband, if you are the main breadwinner, that shouldn't make you a dictator. What it does make you is the provider, and that is a privilege. Now, using money to dominate decisions or restrict her choices will create quiet resentment within your wife, not peace. Money shouldn't also be a replacement for love, for attention, affection, or partnership. Number 4 thing you must stop doing is stop trying to fix her problems. Your wife doesn't always want you to solve her problems, but she always wants you to listen. And what she wants also is your support. And you know that support is not always about jumping in with advice, jumping in with solutions, or jumping in trying to be the savior. She wants you to understand her and to validate what she's going through. Number 5 thing you must stop doing is to stop being emotionally unavailable. Being vulnerable as a man is not a weakness. Your wife did not marry a robot. she married a human being, and humans have emotions. So let your wife see your emotional side. Open up about your fears and your struggles, because it deepens connection and intimacy and brings peace. Now, acting like nothing affects you, on the other hand, only creates distance. Number 6 thing that you must stop doing is stop cheating, because infidelity breaks trust. It breaks the soul of your marriage. And if you want peace, you need to learn to be loyal to your vows. Peace can't coexist with betrayal. Loyalty is the foundation of peace. Now, number 7 thing, the last but not the least thing that you must stop doing if you want peace, is stop feeling threatened by her shine. Know that your wife's success is not your competition. Rather, it is a win for your family. Now, a confident man will celebrate his wife's greatness. He doesn't shrink away from it. A secure man celebrates his wife's wins, because her success is your success. Now, when you recognize and celebrate when your wife is succeeding in life, you are inviting peace into your home. Real peace is not about control. It's actually about connection. Now, if you want less nagging, more harmony, ask yourself, am I creating a space where my wife feels heard and valued? Because when your wife is happy, your home will be happier too. And that's when you start coming home to calm, affection, and the very peace that you desire. You don't get peace by silencing your wife. At all. That can't work. You get peace by being the kind of husband who makes your wife feel valued and cherished. Now, if you want a peaceful home, take the first step by making a change. Make that change. Because when you change, everything around you begins to change. And honestly, you will be the better off for it. Now, if this video spoke to you, don't scroll past it. Share it. But before sharing it, sit with it yourself. And then go have a real conversation with your wife. Seek to understand her a little bit more. Find out what her needs are. I guarantee you peace is possible in your home, but it will start with you. And so, as I said before, if this video resonated with you, like it, subscribe it, hit the notification bell if you want more real talk on building strong, healthy relationships. Let's grow together, one video at a time. Also, share this video with your male friend that you know needs the tips in it. Again, my name is Taya Lugo. God bless you and peace. Women, let's be honest for a moment. We have all had those days, those moments when we look at our husband and we think to ourselves, why does he keep doing this? Doesn't he see that this thing annoys me, frustrates me? You know, the frustration, the disappointment can be real. But here is a question for you. Now, what if the source of that frustration isn't just his behavior, but it's something deeper within us? Now, I'm not here to point fingers or to blame or to say that men are flawless, not even close. This video is not about blame. It's about becoming more aware. It's about becoming more empowered, because real growth, the kind that changes relationship, it starts on the inside. Now, if you're willing to look inward with me, I promise what you will find may surprise you, and it might change everything. So stay with me on this one, and you will be glad that you did. Welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is quite a prickly one, but it's also interesting. And I tell you, it's very necessary because it's important that we as women tell ourselves the truth every now and then. Now, the truth is, ladies, we don't talk about this enough. And there are things that we do in our marriages that not only unintentionally pushes our husbands away, but it also causes them to become resistant. Again, I say, this video is not about blaming, but I am here to tell you for free that when we stop certain behaviors as women, we create space for real love, for respect and connection. I agree, marriage is a two-way street. But today I want to share some things that I have learned, sometimes the hard way, about what we as wives can stop doing to create a happier, healthier connection. Men are not emotionally clueless, as we sometimes want to believe. They just think and process differently. And if we as wives constantly approach our marriages from frustration or silent expectations, we will end up hurting the very connection we want to protect. So let's talk about what we as wives need to stop doing to our men. These are things that once we stop doing them, I guarantee you it will equate to building stronger and happier marriages. Let's get into it. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is stop trying to control or fix him. You know how many of us fall into the trap of thinking, if he just did things my way, everything would be better. Nothing could be further from the truth. Because the truth is, men don't respond well to feeling micromanaged. And whether it's how he loads the dishwasher, how he drives the car, or how he parents your children, constantly correcting your husband can make him feel disrespected. Instead of instructing, try trusting him to handle things his own way, as long as it is not harmful. You might be surprised at how much more willing he will be to contribute when he doesn't feel constantly criticized. The second thing that we need to stop doing is we need to stop expecting him to think like a woman because he is not. We get frustrated when our husbands don't react the way we would. But here's the thing, men and women are wired differently. He might not notice subtle hints. Remember, every date or express emotions the same way that you do, that doesn't mean that he doesn't care. It just means that he shows it differently. He understands differently as well. So instead of assuming the worst, try appreciating his own unique way of showing you love. The third thing we need to stop doing as wives is to stop mothering our husbands. You know, it's very easy for women to slip into mom mode, reminding him of his appointments, picking up after him, scolding him sometimes like a child. But here's the problem. Men don't marry to gain another mother. They marry for a partner. And if we treat our husband like a child, he'll either resent it or he will lean into that role and we will become more exhausted because he will leave everything for you to be doing as a wife. So it's important that we step back and let him be a responsible adult, even if he stumbles at times. Number 4 thing that we must stop doing is stop dismissing your husband's opinion. Do you ever catch yourself thinking that's a silly idea or he doesn't get it? You see, the thing is that when we act like our perspective is superior, it creates distance. Marriage is about teamwork, valuing each other's input even when we don't agree. And so next time he shares an opinion, pause and really listen to it. You might just be gaining a new perspective. The 5th thing we must stop doing as wives is stop expecting him to mind read. When we think that, oh, if he loved me, he would know what I need or what I'm feeling or what I'm going through, But here's the truth. Men are not mind readers. And so instead of silently hoping that he'll figure it out, try to be clear and kind in your communication. Say what you are feeling, because he might not really know. So instead of waiting for him to guess, learn to express what you're feeling. The sixth thing we must stop doing is to stop weaponizing sex. Withholding intimacy to punish him or to get your way creates resentment and disconnection, because sex is a vital part of marriage. It's not just physical, but it's emotional bonding. So if there's an issue, talk about it openly instead of using intimacy as a leverage or bargaining chip. The seventh thing that we must stop doing is to stop venting about him to everybody. You know, it's very tempting to complain to our friends, to our families when we're upset, and even sometimes to his own friends. But constantly airing grievances can poison how other people see your spouse, and it can also affect how you see him. So if you need advice, choose a trusted, fair-minded person or a counselor, and then also learn how to talk to him directly. Now, the eighth thing that we must stop doing is stop keeping score. Marriage is not 50-50, it's 100-100. Now, if you're constantly tallying who is doing more chores, who is more organized, who apologized last, who is doing more, you are going to feel unappreciated, and so will he. So focus on giving freely and not keeping score. The ninth thing is stop neglecting yourself. Wives, stop neglecting yourself. Be a happy wife. A happy wife will make a happy marriage. Now, if you're pouring everything into him and your children and you're neglecting your own joy, you will become resentful. You must take responsibility for your friendships, for your hobbies, and for self-care, because a better you will make a better partner. Find out that at the end of the day, it takes two to build a thriving marriage, but real change will begin when you as a woman or as a wife take responsibility for your own part. When you lead with self-awareness, with respect and intentionality, something powerful begins to happen. Peace grows, intimacy deepens, and both of you will begin to feel seen and valued. Now, women, ladies, wives, this kind of shift starts with us as much as it starts with them. But you only have responsibility and control over yourself. So here's a challenge for you. Pick one small thing that you can do differently this week. Is it a shift in tone? Is it a pause before reacting? Is it giving a bit more grace? You will find out that small changes create big momentum in your marriage. They really, really do. Now, if this message spoke to you, like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, drop a comment below. My question for the week: what's one habit that you have to unlearn in your relationship? Or what's one thing that you will try doing differently starting from today? Let's learn from each other. Let's grow together. Put it in the comment section. Share with me. And if you're ready to go deeper, don't forget to check out my online course in the description. I created it to help women just like you find peace, clarity, and connection in their marriages. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out my other videos and see you in the next one. God bless you and bye. I once had a couple come to me. Their marriage was drowning in arguments, and every conversation felt like a battleground. Both of them, they were exhausted, they were emotionally drained, and honestly, they were getting close to giving up on each other. Divorce felt like the only way out of their misery. They were both frustrated, they were both confused, and they were like, why do we argue all the time? Why does marriage have to be this stressful? Neither of them could see why the other was not getting it. Stick around to learn what this couple needed to do different. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Have you subscribed? What are you waiting for if you haven't? Click the link in the subscription button below. It's very easy. Thank you. Now, back to the video. Here's the thing that you must know. You will not marry someone exactly like you. And even if your personalities are similar, you didn't grow up in the same home. You don't have the same parents, you didn't grow up under the same circumstances, and you will bring two completely different world views together when you start journeying. And that's the very first truth that every single couple must embrace, that differences are inevitable. And here is the thing, differences are actually not the problem. Now for this couple, the issue wasn't their differences. It was how they were choosing to handle those differences. And yes, I said how they were choosing, because how you respond is always a choice. You cannot change your partner. Let me say that again. You cannot change anyone, including your spouse. You can only change yourself. And so when conflict comes from your differences, which they will, the only person you can adjust is you. Very important. Now, if you can change your approach, you can change the entire atmosphere of your marriage. And that honestly is critically important for you to know. So what should you be doing? Let me tell you about the 4 essential A's that will help you with dealing with conflict in your marriage. Now, these are 4 mindset shifts that can completely transform how you respond to differences. The first is acknowledge. Now, the first step is for you to acknowledge that your spouse is not like you. They don't think the same, they don't feel the same, they don't process situations the same way as you. And guess what? This is not a flaw, it is just reality. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Not everyone will see the world the way you do. Your spouse might not be difficult, they might simply be different. And so recognizing this fact will help you reset your expectations of your spouse, and it will also help to immediately lower tension during conflict situations. Number 2A is accepting. You need to accept those differences once you've acknowledged them. Because just because someone sees it differently doesn't mean they are wrong. And it also doesn't mean you are right either, or that you're also wrong. Acceptance simply means that you step into their own shoes and you are saying, let me try to see this the way you do. It's about shifting your perspective instead of staying fixated on it, and also not trying to shift theirs. It's also about moving from where you are to where they are. Don't ever forget that marriage is a partnership. It's not a competitive sport. Now, the third A is appreciate. And this is where many couples fall short. But the thing is, appreciation will help you take things further. Learn to appreciate the diversity that your spouse brings to the union, appreciate their strengths, appreciate this difference in personality, and appreciate when they clash with you. It's simply because you are seeing things differently. Always know that God did not make a mistake when He made you different. Now, those differences, if handled with care, can become the greatest strength of your union. Because what you lack, your spouse will offer in abundance, and vice versa. Now, the 4th A is learning to adapt. And this honestly can be the hardest thing. But you must understand that flexibility is a superpower, and successful couples have learned to be flexible. Adapting doesn't mean losing yourself. It means learning how to respond in ways that foster peace, connection, and growth. Now, adapting looks like you adjusting your tone, adjusting your expectations, adjusting your timing, and even your mindset, so that you can communicate in a way that promotes peace, unity, and harmony. Now, you must also understand how personality and behavior work together. When you do, everything begins to change. Because you see, personality is the stable part of us, it's who we are at our core. But behavior is how we choose to respond in a given moment. And so you find out that the same personality can express itself in 100 different ways, depending on how self-aware each individual is. Now, with successful couples, the ones who are very successful in marriage are the ones who have learned how to handle conflict from a place of high self-awareness. They understand themselves, they understand their spouses, and they commit to learning how to respond in a way that builds their relationship, not breaks it down. So if you're in a place where conflict feels constant, remember these 4 A's: acknowledge, accept, appreciate, and adapt. I must tell you that it will not solve every problem overnight, but it's a powerful place to start from. And if you keep at it, you will see the changes in your marriage. I urge you to keep at it because your marriage is worth it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget that you can access my online course known as Pathway to Forever in the description box below. The link is there. Also remember to share, to leave a comment, and give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget also to subscribe. As always, my name is Taya Luko. God bless you and bye-bye. What if I told you that one silent killer of modern marriages isn't infidelity or finances? It's competition. You know, competing with your spouse might seem harmless. Some people can even say it's motivating. But in reality, what it does is that it creates distance, resentment, and disconnection. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Have you subscribed? If you haven't, please do. And also make sure to turn on notifications so that you will be the first to know whenever a new video drops. So in today's video, I am sharing 5 reasons why competition in marriage is dangerous and what you should be doing instead of competing against each other. Now, the first reason I want to talk about is the fact that competition creates a me versus you dynamic. And when you compete with your spouse, what you do is that you stop being a team. It's no longer us against the problem or us against the world. It's me against you. And this mindset leads to power struggle, not peace. And trust me, what you want in your marriage is peace. That mindset is rooted in ego, not in unity. Now, the second reason is that competition breeds insecurity and resentment. Now, imagine if your spouse is making more money or getting more recognition. Having a competitive mindset means that you become envious of their success and resentful. It's not for you to become envious of them, but rather it's for you to celebrate them. Celebrate their success. It's also important to note that if you are the successful spouse, you should never make your partner feel less because they don't have obvious wins. It's also important to know that when you celebrate each other, what you're doing is you're cheering each other on, and that should be your mindset as opposed to comparing. Ensure that your success is not toxic. It becomes toxic when you start to compare. Now, the third reason is that competition destroys emotional safety. Healthy marriages are safe spaces, but when there's an unspoken competition, what happens is that vulnerability becomes replaced with performance. You stop cheering for each other and you start to keep score. You start trying to out-succeed one another, and that is not good for your marriage. The fourth reason is that competition can be masked as motivation, but it's not really motivation. Sometimes we think we are trying to inspire ourselves or we are being inspired by our spouses, but we're really secretly trying to outdo them. And it's not about trying to outdo each other, but it's about being your best self. Because that subtle drive to want to outdo your partner is actually pride. And pride precedes a fall, even in marriage. Now, the fifth but not the least reason is that it is not how God designed marriage. The Bible tells us that two shall become one. And that speaks of unity. That speaks of oneness. That speaks of a shared purpose. Jesus modeled servant leadership, not self-promotion. He didn't compete with the church. Rather, he gave his life for the church. And that's the model that we are called to follow. So what is the antidote for competition, you may ask? I say collaboration over competition. Here's how you can make the change. Learn to celebrate your spouse's wins like they are your own, because they actually are. Never forget that two have become one. Also share your goals and wins from a place of genuineness, not to impress or to oppress. And also invite partnership. Learn to pray together about your individual callings, how they serve your shared mission. Also learn to speak life over each other. Affirm, encourage, inspire, support. You must always remember that marriage isn't a race to be the best. It's a commitment to bring out the best in each other. So if you have been competing, it's time to stop it. Know that you are not rivals. You are partners. You are not opponents. You are one. Now over to you. Have you ever found yourself competing with your spouse, maybe even inadvertently? I'd love to hear about it in the comment section. Share your story and let's learn and get the conversation started. Let's learn from one another. Let's grow together. Now, if this video hit home for you, make sure to like it, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and more importantly, share with somebody who needs to hear this. You might just be saving a marriage. If you're looking for more relationship tips and insights, be sure to check out my other videos, and you can also click the link in the description to access my online course called Pathway to Forever. My name remains Taya Aluko as always. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video. God bless you. Bye-bye. Most people get into marriage thinking that their spouse will fulfill them, be their happiness, and also complete them. They want their spouse to be everything to them. Now, this is a wrong expectation. It can be challenging and burdensome to your spouse. And it can also become a source of frustration to you when what you expect to get is not happening. Now, it's important for you to know that your spouse cannot be everything to you. They cannot be your only source of happiness. They cannot complete you. And they also cannot satisfy all your relational needs. This is very important to note. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Are you new here? If you are, please make sure to subscribe and share this video. Now, it's important for you to know that building stronger bonds outside your marriage, it might seem counterintuitive, but trust me, it is essential for both your personal growth and your relationship health. Now, when you have a strong support network outside your romantic relationship, you're more likely to bring new experiences, ideas, and emotional support back into your marriage. And that's why it's important to have friends and connections with people outside of your marriage. And by connections, I don't mean extramarital affairs. I don't mean clandestine affairs. I don't mean emotional cheating or infidelity. It's important to know this because no matter how much you love your spouse or are fond of them, you need time away every now and then to avoid strain on the relationship that can come with being too needy or over dependent or reliant on each other. And that's why in this video, I'm talking why it's important to have values-based relationships outside of your marriage. It's important for you to know that every couple needs space for themselves and also time to connect with others. And values-based relationships are important to your marriage to help you do these things. And what does that mean? They are friends that you keep and relationships that you have that are outside your marriage, but they are also critical for the success of your marriage. These are relationships that are capable of impacting your character, your thoughts, and your actions positively. Values-based relationships are relationships where persons involved add value to each other. It is a healthy relationship where the individuals learn from one another, celebrate and encourage each other, and are also full of positivity. Very important, They're relationships where you feel empowered and where you feel loyalty and support, or where you get loyalty and support. And so on this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 intentional relationships that you should build outside your marriage. Now, the first is a sisterhood circle. And this is specifically for women. A sisterhood circle is a circle of friends. And it's essential because it helps you improve your life in many ways. There are friends that can influence your growth, influence you to have a growth mindset, friends that you can have quality conversations with, friends that you can laugh and joke and play with, you can have fun times with, you can go on retreats, good friends that help you through difficult seasons in your life and even difficult seasons in your marriage. Now, the second, mentors. Now, mentors, these are relationships that will be of great assets to you because they impact knowledge, wisdom, and expertise. They encourage you both professionally and they also invest in your personal development. Now, mentors will help you utilize your strengths. They will help you work through your weaknesses. And you'll find out that a good mentor will bring out the best in you. Now, the third is church family or communities. Now, these are people who share the same belief and values as you do. They give you a sense of belonging, or this gives you a sense of belonging, So you find out that with a church family, being involved in service in church, being a worker in church, being a volunteer in a community, with a charity, all of these things help you to connect. They help you to make quality friends. They help you to grow in your knowledge of God. They help you to find meaning and purpose. Now, it's important for you to know that your marriage will benefit and you will be transformed through this values-based relationship. You find out that joy, happiness, and overall positivity that emanates from these interactions in these ones that I've mentioned will positively impact your mood and the overall well-being of your life, which you will then bring into your marriage. And what you find out is that when you are wholesome and well, you bring that wholesome and well self into your marriage. And so you find out that your marriage is healthier because you have made values-based connections with people that are not necessarily inside your marriage. It's very important for you to know that when I say, connections with people that are not inside your marriage, it is not an affair. It is not cheating. It's not emotional connection. It's just having people that are positive, that speak positivity into your life, that help you to grow, that help you to want more, that help you to stretch, that help you to become more, that help you to even be a better version of yourself, and that support you through the good times and the bad times. You discover that marriage's benefits and they are transformed through these type of relationships. The joy, happiness, and overall positivity that emanates from interactions of this nature, they impact and influence your mood, your overall outlook in life. And this in turn impacts on your marriage because you return to your marriage fulfilled, energized, and wholesome. It's also important that you note that being married is not an excuse not to have friends, even if those friends are not married. So intentionally build values-based relationships. Make sure that they're relationships that nurture you and that make you a better person. This is very important, and it's also essential for you building a healthier and stronger marriage. Now, if you like this video, please, you would do well to share it with someone who needs to know this, someone who needs to hear this. Also, please leave a comment, share your opinion. What do you think about having values-based relationships outside marriage? Subscribe as well. Now, if you are looking for more relationship tips and insights, be sure to check out my other videos and click the link in the description box to access my online course called Pathway to Forever. It's an online marital counseling and coaching program that I guarantee will help you improve the quality of your relationship with your spouse. As always, my name is Taya Luko. God bless you. See you in the next video and bye-bye. Are you planning on getting married soon? Or are you currently looking for love? If you are, come closer and listen good. You've heard it said that love is not enough, right? I want you to know that the issue of family background is also a big deal. Family has a profound impact on our relationships, and understanding this truth is key, especially from a choice of life partner point of view. You have to be careful not to sweep things under the carpet when it comes to choosing your life partner. You must make sure that you also pay attention to the family dynamics of the person that you are choosing. Hello, my name is Taya Luko, and you are welcome to my YouTube channel. Have you subscribed? If you haven't, please hit the subscribe button to subscribe now. Don't delay. Honestly, I share tips that can transform your life and your marriage, and you don't want to miss out from any of this good stuff. So subscribe now. Tell your friend to tell a friend so that you can get all the juicy tips, the good stuff that you need for building a happy home. All right, let's get back to my video. Now, when it comes to choosing a life partner, it's important that you get to know the family background of the person you are considering and let it form part of your decision-making process. It's important for several reasons, one of which is that, as I've said in one of my previous videos, we don't throw our families away when we get married. They will always be part and parcel of our lives. And so when you choose who you want to marry, you are also by extension choosing who will be your in-laws. The choice of your in-laws is tied to the choice of your life partner. And so therefore, it's important to understand how they live their lives and the things that are important to them. Now, ask yourself, if you marry into this family and you have to adopt some of their practices, will you be able to adapt and accommodate? And are these practices even practices that you want to bring into your own life? And that's why while you are dating, you have to look out for significant cultural differences, fundamental differences in values, in religious beliefs, and in mindset. Now, I want to share a funny story that I heard when I was single and working in one of the banks. Now, my colleague told us this story. She told us of how one of her friends went to visit her boyfriend in his house. And when she got there, she found her boyfriend's mom washing his clothes with her hands. Now, according to what this colleague told us, she said that that singular discovery was enough for her friend to make up her mind that she can't marry this guy. And her reasoning was the fact that she would not be able to do the same because she's grown up in a home where they have a washing machine. And she believed that both him and his mom would have that expectation of her, and it could be a problem in future. Now, not everyone may agree with her reasoning, but guess what? She was being true to herself. And for her, it perhaps also pointed to differences in way of life, which was a big deal for her. Now, the truth is, when two people from different backgrounds come together to get married, there will always be a period of adjustment. And in this period, they may struggle to find common ground. They may also struggle to navigate their differences. Now, the struggle becomes harder when things take you by surprise because you were not paying attention in the dating phase. And this is why it's important to notice fundamental differences during courtship. You may come from a family that is open and expressive, while your partner comes from a more reserved and traditional family. You might also come from a family where everyone is in everyone else's business, and your partner grew up in a private household. You have to know that these differences can throw up significant challenges when you get married. They are not just small things. Another scenario is if you have been raised in a family that prioritizes independence and self-reliance. You will most likely be used to taking decisions on your own, taking decisions independent of others, and doing your own thing. Now imagine being married to someone who was taught to value interdependence and community. They are used to seeking opinion of their family before they take major life decisions. Now, these are significant family of origin differences that must not be ignored because they can lead to critical misunderstandings and tension, especially when it comes to taking important decisions or navigating challenging situations. Now, consider also family traditions when you're thinking about your family background issues, family traditions and family values. Now, some families are big on celebrations. They make a big deal of every occasion and they expect everyone to gather to celebrate, aunties and uncles. Now, I've even heard of stories of how one spouse refuses to participate in the celebration of their partner's family because for them it was just too much drama, because they didn't come from a home where they were used to making a big deal of celebrations. Now, these are just a few of the things that single people must look out for when you are dating or when you are looking for love. And engaged couples must pay attention to, because love is not enough to base your choice of life partner on. And so the key insight in this video is that family shapes our marriage in profound ways. And being aware of the influence of family before you say I do is crucial for making an informed choice. Now, the key insight for the married is for you to know that to build a strong and healthy relationship, you have to understand and appreciate how your family differences are affecting your life choices and decision-making processes. When you understand and appreciate, you're able to be more empathetic and more sympathetic of each other. Now, are you getting married soon? Would you like to build a happy home? I have created an online course with you in mind, and this course is called Pathway to Forever. It's in this course that I share with you everything that I have learned in 25 years of marriage, as well as key tools and skills that you need to build and navigate marriage, particularly in the early stages. Now, I guarantee you that this course will equip you with the needed skills to build the marriage of your dreams. And all you need to do to access it is to click the link in the description box. Don't also forget to subscribe, to comment, to like, to share this video with everyone that you know needs to learn these important truths. And you can also join the conversation and share your own thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you think that difference in family background is a strong enough consideration in choice of a marriage partner? If you are already married, how has your family shaped your marriage? And what lessons have you learned along the way? As always, my name remains Taya Luko. God bless you and bye-bye. Don't marry a man that is not accountable to anyone. A man that isn't accountable is an accident waiting to happen. Why is this so? It's simply because no one will be able to call him to order. This is fact, and I have so many cases of women that I know who got married to such men. Unfortunately, in all the cases, things did not end well. Now, it's important that the person you want to marry values accountability, that there is at least one person that they honor and respect, that one person can summon them if the need arises, and that they will listen, that one person can call them out and make them see reason to do right. Very important. Now, when none of this exists, it's highly likely that when you start to have challenges, which every marriage will have, that you will suffer a great deal. Now, if your husband is misbehaving and no one can reach him because he listens to no one, that is a terrible place to be in. And I don't wish it for anyone. Unfortunately, the truth is that there are many married women who are going through this situation already with deep regret in their heart. In fact, it was a conversation I had with someone that I know who faced a similar situation that spurred me to talk about this today. She said, Taya, you need to do a video to talk about this, to let single ladies know, to rescue them from falling into this trap. And that's why today I'm speaking about how to identify someone who isn't accountable or respects no one, men in particular. But before I get started, let me tell you about my online course called Pathway to Forever. Now, this is where I share with you everything I have learned in 25 years of marriage, as well as key tools and skills needed to make a success of marriage. You will discover how to go from surviving to thriving. And I guarantee you that this course will equip you with the needed skills to build the marriage of your dreams. All you need to do is click the link in the description to access it. Now, 6 signs that someone is not accountable to anyone. Number 1, they answer to no one, and this is by choice. They have no pastors that they respect, no mentors, no advisors, or no close friends that speak into their lives and that they honor. You'll find them saying things like, I don't let anybody tell me what to do. I know what I want and I do what I want. I don't need anyone telling me. Number 2, they deflect blame constantly. When things go wrong, it's always someone else's fault. The fault of their parents, the fault of their exes, the fault of their bosses at work, or life generally, or even you. They never see their own wrong, their actions or inactions. Now, number 3, they don't like correction or feedback. They get angry, they become dismissive or manipulated when they are confronted. Their ego is too fragile to handle questioning. They don't want to see themselves at all. Number 4, they keep secrets or they live a double life. You will discover inconsistencies in their stories, in their behavior. They tend to compartmentalize parts of their life to avoid being accountable. Number 5, they isolate or they like to control relationships. They may avoid or cut off people who challenge them. And in extreme cases, they may also want to try to isolate you so that your relationship will not be scrutinized. Now, number 6, they tend to glorify independence to a fault. And while independence is healthy, extreme self-sufficiency can be lack of accountability, lack of vulnerability. They feel that they don't need anyone. Now, in the context of choosing a life partner, what you want to know is that a lack of accountability is a major red flag, because marriage or partnership will magnify what already exists. If you see it now, don't sweep it under the carpet. If a person cannot be corrected or held responsible while you are dating, it only will become more dangerous in marriage. So what to do? Look for someone who can say, I was wrong, who allows others to speak into their lives, and who actively works on becoming a better version of themselves. Not just for you, but because they themselves are committed to their personal growth. Very important. Now, if you like this video, please make sure to share with somebody that needs to hear these truths. Also, leave a comment. What do you think about accountability and a man not being accountable to anyone? Do you have any experiences? Last but not the least, don't forget that you can access my online course, Pathway to Forever, simply by clicking the link in the description box. As always, my name is Taya Luko. Thanks for listening. God bless you, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
When a man is caught between the loyalty to his mother and the love for his wife, who comes first? Where should the balance lie? And what does it mean to truly leave and cleave?
Wife versus mother-in-law. Who should a man prioritize? This question has destroyed the peace in many marriages. Wives feeling unprotected, mothers feeling dishonored, and a husband that is torn in between. But is it a competition? Or is there a way both women can be honored without destroying a man's peace? Now, if you have ever struggled with the mother-in-law versus wife dilemma, you are in the right place, because this video is for you. Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am Taya Luko. I am a marriage coach and counselor. And today I am tackling one of the most controversial and emotional questions in marriage. Who is more important, your wife or your mother? Stay with me till the end of this video, because I'll be sharing practical ways to create peace in your home without dishonoring your mother and without undermining your wife. You don't want to go anywhere. So back to the question, wife versus mother. Who should a man prioritize? Who should come first in a husband's life? Bear in mind that I'm sharing from the Christian perspective because, of course, I am a Christian and I believe that God is the creator of the institution of marriage. So let's go straight into the Bible. Genesis 2:24 says, "Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they become one flesh." Now, this verse sets a divine order. Once a man marries, the primary covenant relationship shifts from parent to spouse. And it's important to state that, however, it does not mean abandonment of your parents. but it does imply deep bonding, loyalty, and prioritization for your spouse. So in God's design, the wife becomes the man's foremost earthly priority, not in competition with the mother, but in fulfillment of the marriage covenant. But does that then mean that mothers don't matter anymore? Absolutely not. Because the Bible also commands us to honor our father and mother. And that command does not expire because you are now married. It's important to know that it's not about love, it's about order, because God is concerned with order. Now, where is the place of mothers then? Mothers are precious. I am one myself. They give life, they sacrifice, and they nurture. Now, honoring your mother means respecting, appreciating, and caring for them. But honor does not mean control. And when a man marries, his mother's role must evolve. She blesses, she advises when asked, but she does not dictate. And that's where many conflicts start. So what is the role of the wife? When a man and a woman get married, they enter into covenant. Your wife is your covenant partner. Your wife is your companion. And it's for that reason that her place in your life should be sacred. She should not be married to you and have to compete with your mom for your attention, for your care, or for your affection. Now, when a man fails to prioritize his wife, he breaks the very order that God designed for peace and unity to thrive in marriage. Now, what about the wives? It's important that as a wife, you respect your mother-in-law. Gratitude and honor towards the woman who raised your husband will go a long way in building a solid relationship and solid bond. Your husband's mother gave him life, and this is a big deal. And don't forget that you yourself will one day be a mother, and perhaps you already are. And so it's all about boundaries and balance, really. And how do we find the balance? The key is not about who is more important. It's about roles, it's about balance, it's about boundaries. It's important for you to know that boundaries protect relationships. They don't keep people out, but they protect. So for the husband, protect your wife's place because she's your number one priority. A woman will know when you put her first. Don't say she's too demanding. Actually listen to her and seek to understand why is she feeling like she's playing second fiddle to your mother. Now, if that is your situation, your wife should never have to feel threatened by your relationship with your mom. If you are still a mommy's boy, it's time to detach from your mom's breast and truly cleave to your wife, regardless of your age. Now, for wives, what does balance look like? It's about never disrespecting your mother-in-law. Instead, show her utmost respect. Let her feel like she's not losing a son, but gaining a daughter. Actually take time to get to know her and form a genuine relationship with her, especially if you know that your husband is close to his mom. And while I also recognize that the dynamic is not entirely within your control, you can still live by the biblical injunction of following peace with all men. Now, for mothers, release your sons to cleave to their wives and watch them thrive in their new role. Don't feel threatened because it's not a competition. Don't offer unsolicited advice or interfere. Don't visit every week to see if your son is eating well. Let your visits be few and far between. And this is why it's important for women to have a life outside of their children. A mother who is busy with her kingdom assignment won't have time to be monitoring her married son or sons. Now, I firmly believe that every husband must be intentional to set boundaries to safeguard their home. What does a win-win situation look like? A wife who honors her mother gains a lifelong support. A husband who prioritizes his wife while still honoring his mother will have a peaceful home and a mother who blesses the marriage of her son or sons is leaving a lasting legacy. So the goal is never about competition. The goal is harmony. Now, when handled with maturity, you will find out that both relationships can coexist beautifully as they should. The wisdom is to prioritize according to covenant while giving honor according to the commandment. Very, very important to note. And so in the end, wife versus mother, who is more important? The truth is that both are, but in different ways. Your wife is your covenant partner. Your mother remains the woman who birthed you, to whom you owe lifelong honor. Now, if you're struggling with these dynamics in your marriage, you don't have to let it tear down your home. And that is why I have created my online couple coaching program known as Pathway to Forever, to help couples build strong, God-centered marriages with wisdom, love, and healthy boundaries. And so to access this course, all you need to do is to click the link in the description box. And you can begin your journey to a true pathway of lasting love and happiness. Because marriage doesn't have to be war. It can be harmony when you do things God's way. As always, my name is Taya Luko. God bless you. Make sure to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up if it has blessed you, and share. You can also access my other videos by clicking on the playlist link. Again, I say God bless you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Today, I'm going to be doing a deep dive into some Bible truths that can help couples be better for their spouses in marriage. I was listening to a man called Myron Golden, and in this particular video, he quoted 2 Corinthians 5:20, where Paul talks about Christians being ambassadors for Christ. Now, the scripture goes thus: "We are therefore Christ's ambassadors, as though God were making his appeal through us. We implore you on Christ's behalf, be reconciled to God." Paul was telling his audience that the Christ follower is his representative on earth, hence the use of the word ambassador. And, I just felt that I should explore not just the meaning, but the implication of this scripture, particularly within marriage. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Taya Luko. Have you subscribed? If you haven't, please hit the subscribe button to do so now. Do not delay. What does it mean to be an ambassador for Christ? Let me tell you. You know that an ambassador is a representative sent by one authority to another, typically from one nation to another. So in Paul's usage, Christians are representatives sent by Christ to the world, carrying his message of reconciliation, love, truth, and grace. We carry this message not just in words, but also in deeds. In fact, I will tell you that our actions will speak louder than our words. So I want to bring it to the marriage context. Now, what is expected of the married couple who is also Christian? It is that you will be Christ's ambassadors even within the context of your relationship with each other. In fact, that's the starting point. Now, if this then is the case, what does it look like in practical terms? How can spouses reflect this ambassadorial role in marriage? I believe, in fact, I say that it boils down to character. What is your character like? Is your character Christ-like? Or are you the type that is fervent in church, but vibrating in outbursts of anger in your home? Or maybe you are very loving and kind in the workplace, but to your spouse you are mean. Consider the fact that charity begins at home. Are you modeling Christ in your marriage? It's time to put on an ambassadorial mindset and do so. I'll tell you what an ambassadorial mindset is, what it looks like. It means that, number one, you will be seeking peace and not victory. Because ambassadors don't go to war. They negotiate for peace in the countries where they are. You know, everybody talks about wanting a peaceful home, but are you a peaceful person? Do you fight and nag, always seeking to win the argument or have the last word? The Bible tells us that as much as it lies within us, we should be peace pursuers with all men, and all men includes your spouse. The second thing you want to know about an ambassadorial mindset is that respecting each other's viewpoints. Ambassadors respect culture, respect values, and the political system of their host countries. So know that you can respectfully agree to disagree or disagree. And that's the posture that makes for harmony in marriage. The third thing you want to know is that build and not tear down. Relationship building. Ambassadors focusing on establishing strong networks with key officials in their host countries. They are not there to foment trouble. Likewise, as an ambassador of Christ, your spouse is that one person you must build a strong relationship with. Let your Christianity start at home. Number 4 is crisis management. Ambassadors are focused on managing, not escalating crisis. And that should be your own posture towards one another. It's not about the blame game. It's not about who is right and who is wrong, because these are the things that can escalate conflict in your marriage. And so you want to build relationship. Learn to ask, are we acting like representatives of Jesus right now? Or have we been acting like representatives of Jesus in our marriage? If your answer is not in the affirmative, you need to change course right now. Because ultimately, living as ambassadors for Christ in marriage means seeing your relationship not just as a partnership, but a sacred platform to reflect Jesus to each other and to your world at large. If you are watching this video and you are getting married soon and you would like to build a happy home, or you are married and you are struggling, I have a solution for you. And it's called Pathway to Forever, my online course where I share with you everything I have learned in 25 years of marriage. You will discover how to go from surviving to thriving. I guarantee you that this course will equip you with the needed skills to build the marriage of your dreams. All you need to do to access it is to click the link in the description box. Now, remember to also subscribe to my channel, comment, like, and share this video widely. I appreciate you as you do so. And as always, my name remains Taye Aluko. God bless you. Single lady, single man, stop right there. Before you dream any further about your happily ever after marriage, let me ask you something. Do you know the secret ingredient that will make that marriage work? It's not love, it's not passion, it's not even communication, and those things are important, but it's not any of them. In today's video, I am revealing to you the real secret to a fulfilling, lasting marriage. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Have you subscribed? Something tells me you haven't. What are you waiting for? Click the subscription button to subscribe now. Thank you very much. Now let's get into today's topic. You see, young couples dating engaged often believe that a good marriage is about the perfect match, the stars aligning, the butterflies, the storybook romance. But truth be told, your happily ever after doesn't begin when you find the perfect person, because there is no perfect person. It begins when your values align. You heard me right. Values. Why values? Because values are the compass that guide every decision we make. And in marriage, you will be making decisions daily. Some of them will be major life-altering decisions. Now, values also influence how we see the world, how we act, how we speak, how we treat others, even how we love. Now, this is what you must know, that you will never live or act outside your core values. Neither will your partner. And so when you are choosing a life partner, what you're really choosing are the values you are going to be living by and living with for the rest of your life. And so you must ask yourself, what values do my partner hold dear? Or what values does my partner hold dear? Do our values complement or do they clash? Now, you must also ask yourself, are these values going to build joy into our lives, or will they invite conflict into our home? Now, let me break it down by sharing some core values that I believe you should never compromise on if you are serious about building a thriving lifelong relationship. Now, the first is honesty. Honesty is where it all begins. It is the bedrock upon which trust is built. Now, you'll find out that a dishonest person will keep you guessing, second guessing, and eventually doubting your own instincts. And so it's important that you find someone who tells the truth, even when it is hard to do so. And it's also important that you be that person too. Now, the second value is trust. And trust isn't just important, it's actually non-negotiable. And trust is not proven by checking phones or tracking locations. Because if you're already struggling to trust someone while you are dating, what makes you think that it will magically get better after marriage? The reality is that it will get worse, and you have no business marrying somebody you don't trust. The third is respect. Respect is not just about being polite. It's about recognizing the value in the person of your partner, seeing your partner as a valuable person. Respect is shown in the little things. How do they speak to you when they are angry? Do they support your goals, and how do they support them? Do they belittle you, or do they value you as a human being? How do they treat other people? The waiter at the dinner table. A person who respects others will respect you when it matters most. The fourth is openness. Openness is about the willingness to be vulnerable. It's about showing up as your real self, unfiltered, not the polished version. So you want to ask, can you both share your fears, your dreams, and your disappointments without shame? Because that is where true intimacy lives, when you are open, when you are naked and not ashamed. The fifth is faith. Now, faith is about spiritual alignment. Faith or your guiding beliefs, they form your world view. And if you are not walking the same spiritual path, you will eventually find yourselves walking in different directions. And that is very harmful for your marriage. The Bible tells us in Amos 3:3, can two walk together except they agree? If there is no spiritual agreement, you have no business getting married. The sixth is empathy. Empathy is the ability to feel with your partner, not just feeling for them, but feeling with them. When one of you is hurting and the other is not just sympathizing, they are also actually empathizing by listening, by leaning in, and by connecting. Empathy is very important for a successful marriage. And it's more than just listening, it's about also connecting. The seventh is accountability. Can your partner own up to their mistakes? Can you own up to your mistakes? No one is perfect. We will make mistakes. But when someone refuses to be accountable, when they're always shifting blame, that is going to affect you adversely in marriage. It will affect your connection. It will affect your enjoyment of the relationship. So look for someone that is accountable. Now, the eighth is growth. Marriages that last are built by people who are willing to grow emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. Now, if either of you are stuck in a take me as I am mindset with zero desire to evolve and grow, your marriage will also stay stuck and you will be frustrated. Last but not the least is gratitude. Gratitude is very powerful and important. Saying thank you always, noticing the big and the little things, appreciating the big and the little things, not taking each other for granted. It keeps the heart open, and that is very important in marriage. So, there you have it. The secret ingredient to your happily ever after marriage is aligned values. Not just love, not just attraction, but shared core values. Let me know in the comment section, which of these values do you consider to be the most important? Are there any other values you'd like to add to the list? I would love to hear from you. Please share in the comment section. And before I go, here is one final truth bomb for you. There is no such thing as a happily ever after marriage. There is no such thing. But what does exist is this: two people who are committed, intentional, and willing to show up for each other day in, day out. That is the real fairy tale. And that is more beautiful than any storybook ending. Thank you for watching another of my videos. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more conversations on love, life, and everything in between. Also, I have an online course that is made with you in mind, and it's called Pathway to Forever. You can access it by clicking the link in the description box. Are you married, about to get married? This course is for you. Till next time, bye-bye and see you in the next video. God bless you.